if Law is going to want to put a card back in hand, they're not going to really want to put that Nami back in hand. So I agree with that. I definitely agree with that use of a Punk Gibson. We're going to see two. We're going to use Law's effect. Probably return either the Nami or the Sanji. We're going to see the Nami. Then Law comes down, and the question is, do we want to recycle one of our Namis that's on board, or do we want to recycle our Dadan? And it looks like we're going to put the Nami back. We're going to play a Chopper down. Pretty solid. We've got 2 Don remaining, so we're probably just going to go across the table for 7. We're going to go ahead and see Uda block. Don -1. What are we going to rest here? We're going to rest the Law. Makes sense to me. And then we see 2 Spiderweb untap the Uda. What a powerful combination that is. Because that Uda is not once per turn. So if she blocks twice, she rests twice. Pretty powerful. We see Dofi is going to come across the table at Sanji and clear it. And then we're going to see a 6 on the Law. We could see a block, or we just discard a card from her hand. That works pretty well. Dofi did Don -1, so he's on 7 now. So we're going to see Luffy come down and play the Uda. What a powerful combination. This is a 7/7 Luffy that is a blocker. And on play, he gets to play a 4-cost or less Straw Hat or Film. Very, very strong combination there. Sometimes you'll see them go Luffy into Brook into a 3-drop, but Luffy into Uda is pretty strong. That's a lot of blockers that we've got on board. Now we're going to see 7 come across the table here. 7 is a good number because we don't want Luffy to just get a free block out of us. And we're probably going to be putting this Law back in our hand this turn with our leader effect. So Dofi's on 2 life now, and we see Nami come back down. This is the Nami that we returned to hand earlier. Looks like we're going to grab a Sanji here. So we've got another Sanji if we want to stop the opponent from really starving us out. We're going to see Dadan come across for 5, and we're just going to take that free block. No real consideration on that one. Dofi being a good bit more of a control deck than Law is here. Just going to try to make the game slow down to Dofi's tempo. We're going to see a 7 come across. We're going to Uda block, rest the Chopper. It's very good. Again, this is the least valuable card on the board. If you rest one of the Namis, you just incentivize Law to put the Nami back. And then we're going to Spider Web and untap the Luffy. Quite a lot of value. Okay, we're going to replace the Law with a Chopper and pass. We're going to choose to be a little bit more defensive here. Going into this turn, we can expect Dadan and Chopper to go down. We're going to see the Nami come down. Nami is on play or when attacking for 1 Don. You have to look at the top of your deck for a film card that's not Nami and add it to your hand. And we're going to see it gets Union Armada. It looked like he was explaining it to his opponent. It's a counter. If your leader is film, so up to one of your film type leader or character cards gains +4 for the battle, and then it can't be KO'd during the turn. That's pretty strong. He can't use it on his leader because his leader is not a film card, but that card in combination with Uda keeps her around, in combination with that Luffy keeps him around. Pretty good. And on trigger, it adds a Don, like most of your purple cards from back in the day. We see the Uda swing on the Chopper here. We're leaving the Zoro up to maybe go after the leader, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to see 7 go after the leader too. Dofi has decided to turn this game a bit more aggressive now. And then we're going to switch to active mode and pass. So much Don being left open. We already know that Union Armada is in the hand, but we don't know much else at the moment. We also know, if we're Law, that Nami is just going to continue to gain value if we can't answer it. So we're going to see what we can do. We're going to go Zoro, and it appears that it's just time to wrap this game up. Both players looking like they want to wrap the match up. Here, we're starting to ignore board. Law kind of has to ignore Doflamingo's board. Dofi's board is kind of wild at this moment. So we're just going to keep going face. And we're just going to snap take that. No worries or considerations on it. If we're Law, we know Union Armada can't be used on the leader. So we're gonna do the good old fashioned set one tango here with Zoro. We see the Uda go ahead and block. This is gonna rest that Law. Uda was waiting the whole time for this. We see him return an active mode Don. It probably won't matter, but that could matter. It did not matter. Okay. And we see Union Armada keeps the Uda around. All right. We have one blocker if we're Law, but a lot of cards in hand. It's gonna be interesting to see what Dofi does here. Dofi not at 10 Don means that he cannot drop the 10 drop this turn. I see 7 come across the table. We could see the one of Radical Beam, or we could see a block with the Chopper. We do, in fact, see the block with the Chopper. We got another 7 coming across. Law has a lot of cards in hand, and the crackback is definitely intimidating. You see a Sanji and a Bonnie come out of the hand. That's pretty good. Will we see the Nami next, is the question. We do, in fact, see the Nami. So we've got a 7, and then we can pay one more Don if we want to look at the top cards of our deck. It doesn't look like we want to do it. Interesting. All right, double Sanji out of the hand. So do we have a 6 drop then? Is that definitely wanted to keep our Don. So we got looks like 6 Don left. It's a shame all the Uda Don -1 here, not being able to potentially play the new 10 drop Doflamingo, hold down the leader, the Law, and the Zoro would be pretty impactful. The Doflamingo, we're about to put it up on the screen for you now, is kind of like Puppetmon from Digimon. He just holds the cards down, 3 of them, including up to a leader. So, all right, we're trying to figure out how to close the game here. If we can't close the game, we really want that Zoro to go down, I think. So we might just see a 9 at the Zoro. We do, in fact, see a 9 at the Zoro. This makes sense. Zoro represents quite a lot of power. And yeah, Zoro goes down after all of the 2Ks that had to come out of the hand to protect the life. It was not likely the Zoro would be able to be protected. All right, we've got double Uda on the board, so we'll probably see this Law swing first, not the leader, the 5 drop. Because if he swings with anything else, the Uda is just going to go ahead and tap that thing down. Um, Also, the leader, all the Don attached, so the leader was not able to to switch any Don to active mode for the Dofi. We have 2 blockers. It looks like maybe 4 cards in hand and 2 Don in active. Don't know anything in Dofi's hand at this moment. So what will the Law player choose to do?
3 more players for the next win-a-box. 3 more players for the next 8-man win-a-box.
It's difficult to win this game from Law's perspective at this moment, so we might be looking to just put ourselves in a winning position. We see Brook come down, then we Otama one of the Udas. Question is, do we have the answer for the Uda? We'll probably just block this with a smaller Uda. That's exactly what we're going to do. We'll Don -1, rest a Nami. This does make sense, even though he's incentivized now to return the Nami to his hand. It's one less attacker, and if you're worried that your opponent might win the game this turn, you definitely want to be removing attackers from the board. Let's see, it looks like a Buena Vista come out of the hand. So I think Law has 2 cards in hand. they're gonna need to be two very good cards. Probably a Zoro at the very least. But we will see. Looks like Dofi might have three cards in hand. One of them is in fact the big 10-drop Dofi. I think we'll be getting to the 10-drop Dofi next turn too, if there is a reason to play it instead of just going for game. We're going to see the effect, return Otama to hand, play down the law that untaps the law. Then are we going to swing again? If we swing again with the law, the Uda could block and rest the starter deck law, but then he won't be able to play the 10-drop Dofi, which is pretty important. We see a swing on the Nami. That is going to be agreeable. That's very agreeable. Now, are we going to put some Don on this Nami? Are we going to go after the Zoro? We do, in fact, put some Don on the Nami, and we go after the Zoro. Um, I believe that you protect the Zoro 100% of the time here. Law has two cards in hand. You have 10-drop Dofi. Yeah, you just protect the Zoro. And then we might just... There are no blockers remaining on the board, so game is within our grasp here, for sure, with two cards in hand. Um, so we we do have 10 Don. Just doing some quick Don math here. What could we do? We could do 9, 9, 9. That's 4, 7, 9 Don. So he has one Don left. So he could do 9, 9, 10. I don't think Law gets out of a 9, 9, 10 unless, even with Radical Beam, I don't think that it would be possible. We don't know if Law has Radical Beam or not either. So this will be pretty interesting. Let's see if he had a radical. If you went 9, oh, we're gonna go 7. Okay, so this is fine too. If Law gets out of this, then you just go 7 again, and then all of the rest of it on Dofi. This is a rough position for Law. Law. All right, we're thinking about it, and we're gonna go ahead and just take it. Well, I believe that you come across the table with 9 Dawn on Luffy now. And there it is. There is the fist bump of game. So we see green purple Doflamingo taking it. These film cards very wow, and his last life was a spider web trigger, which would have given his leader an additional 2k for the entire turn. So Law was going to have a hard time getting through that without just swinging double big, which is difficult to do through the blockers. We saw the power of Uda in that match. Her ability to rest 5-cost cards just being so strong against Law, a deck that exclusively has 5 and less cards. We didn't get to see the boss monster 10-drop Doflamingo come down, but really we didn't need to. That was a very clean game on both sides. So with that, we're going to be moving on to the third round here soon. We have 648 players today playing somewhere around 10 rounds. Side events will begin after the next round, and you can expect more games on camera starting in the next round. Once again, this is PPG and Three Swords Productions.